let us start discussion. Yesterday board meeting was concluded between RBI and government. RBI board was held. RBI board meeting was held, where RBI mellowed down and government also slowed down. Both have now come hand in hands. Earlier, from last 15 days, every day newspaper we are reading that RBI and government are at loggerheads, but yesterday's board meeting resolutions actually shows that both are now in good terms. So RBI agreed for loan restructuring for small businesses. RBI agreed for loan restructuring for small businesses. Raghuram Rajan, the former RBI governor, earlier warned that Mudra loans are going to become very big headache for government. In future, Mudra loans are going to become NPS. He cautioned the government. But now RBI agreed for loan restructuring for small businesses. RBI agreed for loan restructuring for small businesses. Next, RBI have eased the norms, made the norms flexible for weak banks. Now RBI is not very strict towards weak banks, eased the norms for weak banks, and RBI agreed to pump more cash into the system. RBI agreed to pump more cash into the system, means to push more cash so that economy will activate. So more cash into the system means economy will activate. The government now was asking RBI the transfer of 3.6 lakh crore of funds. 3.6 lakh crore funds. Now with RBI there is 9.6 lakh crore funds. 9.6 lakh crore funds, where government is asking to transfer 3.6 lakh crore funds. Reserve Bank, RBI, maintains some funds, surplus funds. 9.6 lakh crores we have. Government is asking to transfer this 3.6 out of 9.6. For this, the Finance Ministry has suggested that this surplus fund should be managed jointly by RBI and government. The Finance Ministry suggested that this surplus money with RBI should be managed jointly between government and RBI. The Finance Ministry have felt that existing capital framework is not in favor of government. There should be a committee which should discuss about all these things, and RBI and government agreed to have a committee to resolve existing capital surplus issues. So now it's very good that RBI board, and we all thought that RBI will use, the central government will use section 7 of RBI Act, but it is not in the case now today. It's good, for good. And Indian President Ramnath Kovind was on two-nation tour. He was on two-nation tour, Vietnam and Australia. Ramnath Kovind was on two-nation tour, Vietnam and Australia he is visiting. And our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi have attended Maldives President swearing in ceremony. Mr. Soli's swearing in ceremony. Our Modi Prime Minister attended Maldives President swearing in ceremony. Coming to today's Hindu paper. Sabarimala issue is still continuing. Sabarimala issue is still continuing, and literacy levels in rural India suffer from migration of families. UNESCO report. The children in rural India, page number 7, Hindu. Hindu, page number 7. Literacy levels in rural India suffer from migration of families. UNESCO report. UNESCO said that 80% of migrant children in 7 cities do not have proper education. 40% of the children belong to migrant families, settle down in work rather than education. So, when parents are migrating from one place to other place for work, children education is getting affected. And 80% of families, migrant families, their children are facing problems, and 40% of them are likely to end up in doing work. This is the report. Literacy levels in rural India is being hit because of migrant families. Schooling, school education, school joining, all these things. So, about 28% of youth between 15 to 19 from these households have not even completed primary school. In these households, in these houses where they are migrating from one place to other place, 28% of young people have not even completed their primary education. Literacy levels in rural India suffer from migrant families. You have to cut and paste your notes. Very important article. Coming back to today's editorial page. Today's editorial page. Maldivian reprieve. Maldivian reprieve. R-E-P-R-I-E-V-E. Maldivian reprieve. Listen. In Maldives, Mr. Soli has sworn as President of Maldives. In the previous government, there are a lot of corruption charges. Mr. Amin. And India aspired for democratic Maldives. Elections in Maldives, and democratically elections were held. Mr. Soli won the elections. Recently, there were many issues between India and Maldives. Mr. Amin government is very close to China. Amin government is very close to China. And when India started pressurizing on democratic Maldives, Amin government tried to sever many ties with India. In fact, Maldives government in the recent past advertised that in Maldivian jobs in various companies, Indians need not apply. Most of the Maldives companies emphasize that Indians should not come and work in Maldives. In fact, few years back, when Maldives got severe drinking water crisis, India has sent desalination ship to convert ocean water into drinking water. Desalination ship. Maldives is a part of SAARC, and for Maldives, India is the biggest neighbor, but Maldives relationship with China, and secretly Maldives government have agreed FTA with China, free trade agreement with China, and China is also trying to invest in Maldives, in Malé airport and other things. But now Mr. Soli government definitely will bring a change in India-Maldives relations. Okay, this much you have to remember about new government. This much you have to remember about new government. And Mr. Narendra Modi have visited Maldives and attended swearing-in ceremony. Next, criteria for the courts. Criteria for the courts. See, bureaucracy should be neutral. Means whatever might be the incumbent government, whatever may be the ruling party, whatever might be the incumbent government, whatever may be the ruling party, bureaucracy should be neutral. It should follow rules. It should not follow political party ideology. This aspect is called neutral bureaucracy. There is one more aspect called committed bureaucracy, where bureaucracy is expected to commit to the party ideology. Bureaucracy is expected to have a commitment to the party ideology. This is called committed bureaucracy. neutral bureaucracy and committed bureaucracy. And in this article, the article started with this phrase, Indira Gandhi expected committed judiciary. Indira Gandhi expected committed judiciary. That means judiciary should toe the lines of incumbent party. But if you could remember, we have a case called Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala, 1973. We have a case called Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala, 1973, in which 13 judges bench by a majority of 7:6. 13 judges bench by a majority of 7:6 said Parliament should not touch basic structure of the Constitution. Parliament should not touch basic structure of the Constitution. So thereby clipping the wings of Parliament. That means unrestricted powers are not given to the Parliament. So what the governments expect, judiciary should follow government ideology. What the judiciary tells, no, I don't want to follow, I am neutral. In the same way, bureaucracy. So in this scenario, there are many things that were discussed. You get a point. In 2015, a commission was constituted called NJAC, National Judicial Appointments Commission. In 2015, a commission was constituted called National Judicial Appointments Commission. For the appointment of judges, commission will recommend the names. Commission will consist of Chief Justice of India as chairman, law minister, judges, 2 eminent members, all these people. But still, the Supreme Court have declared NJAC as unconstitutional. We don't want commission. We will recommend you appoint the same judges. Collegium will recommend. Collegium within the Supreme Court, they will recommend, and you have to appoint. This case also was discussed in the article. So finally, you should understand the topic called committed judiciary. That was expected. Beyond that, need not remember anything. There are stories where government wants the judiciary to follow the lines of the government. For example, a government have introduced president's rule in a state. If the judge do not support it and reduce that, then the government will feel betrayed. These things do happen. From long time, judiciary tells certain law made by the government is unconstitutional. Automatically, the government which have majority in Lok Sabha do not like it. It won't like it. This doesn't happen. So remember this much. Done. Next, a true counselor. A true counselor. This article is related to P.N. Husker. See, P.N. Husker was the principal secretary, worked under Indira Gandhi. Even after his retirement, he acted as an advisor to Indira Gandhi till Sanjay Gandhi's rise to power. Here, the author wrote many things. First thing, when Indira Gandhi was very young in the house, when Indira Gandhi first time became Prime Minister, he guided Indira Gandhi in many respects. In fact, there was a split in Congress which he supported, gave all ideological support to Indira Gandhi. After that, Indira Gandhi nationalized 14 banks. Indira Gandhi abolished privy purses. Indira Gandhi have signed a treaty of peace, cooperation and friendship with Moscow, Russia in 1971. Indira Gandhi liberated East Pakistan, 1971 Bangladesh war. In all these aspects, P.N. Husker is along with Indira Gandhi. Her secretary is along with Indira Gandhi. Even while dealing with China, while dealing with Pakistan, particularly after 1971, in 1972 there was Simla agreement. Even in that agreement, the terms were decided from Indian side by P.N. Husker. All these things were mentioned in the article. Reservation for Marathas. Reservation for Marathas. See, Maharashtra government have announced the continuity of reservations for Marathas, and you all know it is based on the recommendations of State Backward Classes Commission. State Backward Classes Commission. In education, employment and jobs, the government promised the reservations, and but it might get the judicial scrutiny. It might get the judicial scrutiny. Throughout India, reservations. Jats, Gujars, Patels, Marathas, throughout India. So, these type of issues might open Pandora's box. These type of issues might open Pandora's box. Throughout India, such type of demands might flare up. Let's see how judiciary is going to react for this. Okay. Next. A 21st century revolution. A 21st century revolution. It is about Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, how they are funding research for sanitation, particularly. For sanitation. Particularly in India, the problem is open defecation. Open defecation. In Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, we are trying to construct toilets throughout India and minimize the open defecation. We want to make India open defecation free by October 2nd, 2019. By October 2nd, 2019, we have aimed to make India open defecation free. For that, India must adopt and reinvent new toilets which are really environment friendly and waste treatment plants for sanitation. So, for that, many researches are going on. In India, we should also adopt such reinvented technologies for better sanitation. By October 2nd, 2019, that should be our target. Okay, these are the important current affairs.